Again, it's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida, in the shade where it's not even 60 degrees. It might not even be 55 degrees, and I'm cold, but I am a driven, silly woman. So I am going to try and paint something using my most recent method, which are these little silicone salad dressing containers that I found in Marshall's. And this started as an accident, and I was experimenting, of course, and my first experiment came out of one of these little holes, and it came out muddy, and I didn't like it, so I had a container left, which I had created by pouring paint into my iPod box and then pouring it into the container, which I'm since not doing. But what I do want to do is use a 16 by 20 inch canvas, and I want to have a couple different colors of paint, combinations I should say, a couple different paint color combinations. And I've got all kinds of stuff to use up, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use up stuff that I've had in small bottles forever. It's been shaken. That one didn't look like it got shaken, but that's okay. It's just Floetrol separates out, but Floetrol you can use to coat things and stick them together and all kinds of other cool stuff. So I'm never worried about Floetrol being separated out. It's not the end of the world. That is a color shift that I love, and it will be very sad to run out of, because I think it might have been a mistake when they made it. Honestly, because the other folk art color shifts that are blue flash, called blue flash, do not measure up. But I'm hoping that I'm wrong and that I find some more. Come out. Okay. If you can't get your paint out of your bottle, stick a skewer. Whoa. Okay. Stick a skewer in the end. Okay. You know, I'm thinking I want that color, and I want to use that container, so I'm just going to add some right in. Ooh, it's gloppy. Okay, that might have been a mistake. Okay, I might be fishing some stuff out. I think that paint is actually spoiled. That might be the first time I can recall that ever happening to me, actually. I want some white and some pearl. Where is my pearl? Pearl? Come to me, pearl. And I want some darker colors in there, and it's either going to be black or it's going to be the Prussian blue. The Prussian blue is right there, and I'm going to put that in there with force. And even though there's no gold in there, there will be plenty of gold in the next one. I have decided. Actually, you know what? There's some gold in there. Now. And I'm going to do the next one with a lot of gold, and wondering what my color choice combinations, what I'm going to change that up with. That is a really nice pinky magenta red. Not on the orange side, but that leaves room for some orange. And since that's almost full already, I'm going to go ahead and top it up with the Prussian blue. Now I don't know how any of this is going to work, but what I do know is when I start my canvases, I start them with layers of paint that I put on with a spatula. And I'm not going to stop doing it now. I've just never done it on this large of a venue, large of a canvas. I've got, like I said, lots of paint to use up. Not worried about that. That's probably Floetrol. God knows how long it's been there. It's in a really small bottle. I think I'm going to use some black. And what else? I think I have some cobalt blue around here somewhere. I think that will work nicely. And every time I use the purple, it makes me happy. I may put some more white down there. I'm going to throw a little bit of this color shift blue in. It's not the same color at all. That's why I say that about the other one. It just doesn't look the same at all. And if I'm using something I don't know about, I don't know about it. So this is just meant to make the paint that I add to the surface. Oh, I almost spilled my paint cups. Let's pull those someplace else. Also been painting over my crib sheet. I want some gold down here. Whoops. Lost my neckerchief. It's cold out here today, so I'm not wearing a scarf so much to protect my head as I am to protect me from the cold. So, yet another example of I could just leave this alone and not add anything to it, I think. And I'd be perfectly happy with that. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just say to heck with it. I'm going to watch some of that sell up. I may have to go back afterwards and touch up my edges, which is not an uncommon occurrence, and you guys are probably used to it by now. Hopefully you can see most of that. I should probably check my camera and zoom out. My timer's set for 17 minutes, and at that point in time I'll tell you whatever I need to tell you, but it shuts off at 20, so I need to do that. In case you ever wonder why I say stuff about running out of time, that's it. The camera shuts off. There's not much I can do about it. Well, that's pretty cool. I really love that. Oh dear. Do I love it enough to keep it? I kind of do. I'm just going to use my... These are my OXO omelet turning spatulas. They're available on the Amazon link below, show more, below the video. And my Amazon link will also take you to my book called Because I Can, and my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatulas, which you may or may not get to see in a moment when I show them to you. If I'm going to use them or not is the question. Not sure what's going to happen there. So I'm going to turn that around. I'm seeing all kinds of really beautiful cells, and that's why I've been using the spatula to do this, because of all the beautiful cells. And nothing. I could just be perfectly happy with this painting just as it is, but it didn't take long enough, and I do have a plan, and I am going to use it. I'm going to try and use it. I also have paint on my spatula that I want to use on the edges. So maybe because it's cold out here, maybe that has something to do with the cells. I kind of doubt it. I see that blue there. And I want to steal some of it. I'm still playing. I can't help myself. It's the nature of the beast, and I am the beast. Not only that. If I make it bad enough, I won't mind pouring paint over it. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Alright, we have paint that will move other paint. And I am going to go ahead and use my first set because I have some gold in the background. Now, when I did this by accident, I made a large swath on one side at first, and then trailed it off into a smaller area. So I'm going to try to start that way. And then I'm going to go back again. I'm going to let that sort of drain to one edge. I don't know how to call it. One side of the bottom. And I'm going to throw some black along one edge of this. And some blue, I think. Because I'm not super thrilled with total greenness there. And I have this beautiful blue that I love. I'm going to throw a little bit of that there. I'm kind of going outside my original plan, but I don't ever have much guilt about not sticking with my original plan when things work out anyway. So assuming I can keep from spilling that other paint, I think I would like to begin to tip this. And see where it leads me. I've only been doing 14 by 14 inch size canvases. And yeah, I am certainly losing some stuff, but I'm not losing everything. I'm going to grab an edge catcher, press it up against the side, let everything flow where it will. Hope to grab some of those purple lumps and other things as I see them. This may not be anything like what I expect, but I'll take whatever I get and work with it. So I'm going to let that paint pool over there as best I can and let it run down the edge catcher. I'm also going to tip my edge catcher to cover the edges with a similar color. And then I'm going to try and let that flow, squeeze it back on as well. And you see I have paint on here, and I can scrape that right off with my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatulas. And I may do that in a minute. But I'm seeing that I have a desire to throw some pink in there. And I wish I hadn't taken my other spatula away, but it's okay. I don't have any orange because I put it in the next container. And I'm thinking that I'd like to see what happens. And I'm going to integrate that very cautiously with a skewer. Depending on how I feel about it, I might put some more in there. So I'm just throwing my skewer in sideways and barely touching the canvas. And I haven't started to clean it off yet because I haven't seen any bad effects, but that doesn't mean that won't happen. I'm going to wipe my skewer off. And I just have that touch of orange over there. I think I'm going to go for more. I have one clean side of my spatula. I've got some nice variations in pattern because of the layers on top. I also just put paint all over my sweater. I am wearing a sweater. It is cold out here. I like my spiky things. I'm a dragon lover from way back, so I don't mind if I do, and hopefully you don't mind if I do. So let's see what else I need to do to this. I don't really think I'm ready to add chain. I'd like some more red in there, and I'm draining some red out of my container over here. And I am just going to keep throwing my skewer in there, taking whatever residual paint there is stuck to it and letting it fall wherever it may. And I'm going to put my glasses on my face because that seems like a really good idea. Alright, so I see this red up here, and I have these basting brushes that I've removed 2/3 of the bristles from. Every other bristle is gone. And when I agitate the paint and it's thick enough, oftentimes with these, I will get selling, really cool selling. But it will also mix your paint up pretty thoroughly, so you have to be ready for whatever you get. I like those colors in there. The blue and the other, but I was inspired at that moment to move them, so I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I got some strange things happening. I'm trying to learn to love them right now. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. That's white paint that's coming through, so that's alright. Let's give it a little bit of a tip. Not that paint moves very well on an extremely cold day, but I don't see any harm in trying. I like this in here, but it just makes the paint look thin to me, so I'm going to use my other basting brush. Yeah. Because it's cold, I think I'm leaving more marks on the canvas than usual. That's better. That's a lot better. I'm happier with that by far. getting a few things I like more. I've got some turquoise in here, and don't ask me why, but I am compelled to use it. Something about the green. And the texture of the basting brush works nicely. Oop, that's not what I thought I had in my hand. I thought I had blue in my hand. It doesn't matter. It doesn't look like I set my timer. Darn. But I probably just didn't press the button. Yeah, I didn't press the button. So we get what we get. And I will stop soonish. As soon as I find the Prussian blue, or yes, the Prussian blue. How about the cobalt blue? How about some turquoise color shift over here? This is a very strange piece, I gotta say. I'm not sure about my colors that I've chosen at this point. But I do like to see what happens with the patterns. They make me happy. And I could swipe again, which I might be very tempted to do. Like so. I can pull paint with a spatula, also like so. And since I have some gaps on the edge of my canvas, I think that's a good idea. Whoops, dropped it in the painting. I don't think it's going to show at this point. Yeah, because of the cold day, I believe that things are manipulating themselves a little differently as I play with them, like all the way down to canvas. I am going to wipe that spatula off. And I like the black. I want more of it. I've got GAC 800 in all of my paint to keep the paint from cracking as it dries. It's by Golden. I recommend it. I wanted to keep that black a lot more than I got a chance to, so let's see what I can do with a clean spatula. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. And I'm going to have to clean some paint off my tools in a serious way. Not unhappy with that. Almost done. I know I have to stop now no matter what and start another recording if I'm going to keep going, so I don't think I'm going to keep going. And you may be gone already, and I haven't got a chance to tell you anything but about the book, and I'll mention the Teespring clothing right under the video is stuff that I've attempted to share with you, some of my favorite things. I'm going to throw my tools in my bucket. I'm going to take a torch to this. If you're gone, you're gone. This is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida, at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard, doing her warm-up, doing her best to warm up. Pun intended. Let's grab some of that minty green and see what happens when I throw that in there. That's a good color in there. Well, not knowing how long this video lasts has sort of discombobulated me again. But I like that green so much I had to add some. And I think that helps. And since I seem to have some naked canvas up there, it's not going to hurt to throw some up there either. Alright. I will see you guys in the next video. There is no silicone in my paint mix. Just Floetrol and DecoArt pouring medium mixed with GAC 800. The recipe is under the video. Along with all